By the end of this video, you'll understand why it's important to move away from procrastination to planning to progress your career, and also how you can get started. Hello, I'm Danielle Dakin, career consultant, trainer and positive psychologist. Welcome to the Potentiality Project, where your career development is the focus. If you're new to my channel, select the subscribe button and you'll be notified of any new videos. If you're feeling frustrated, demotivated, or perhaps somewhat directionless in your career because you don't have a 5-year plan, this video is for you. Feeling frustrated and stuck because of lack of a career plan is something I come across a lot. The root cause of feeling this way comes from a lack of direction. When you have a vision of where you want to go or what you want to achieve, you can get on and plan the steps to get there. Without this vision, you stay stuck. You want to move forward, but you can't. And this is something I have experienced, and it's a difficult place to exist in. Every day feels like it's a little bit difficult and gradually harder to stay motivated. People start to become frustrating, and all this builds a kind of negativity that grows into stress. Not only does this make you feel down or low in energy, but it also starts to chip away at your well-being. I know that I started to neglect my fitness. I turned towards comfort eating, which was not necessarily nutritious, and my evening go-to to make me feel better was a glass of wine. And this dark type of mood affects your career in the long term, not just because you don't progress, but because people around you see and feel your mood, which can affect the chance of promotion. The good news is twofold. Not only is it possible for you to create a career plan, but in doing so, you will reduce your stress levels, improving your well-being and happiness. There is science behind this claim. A study was undertaken with 2,000 decision makers to understand how planning versus procrastinating affects things like completion, stress reduction, and happiness. And the results of the study demonstrated that both procrastinators and planners are driven by anxiety, which is a way of managing stress. Those that were planners were better able to use the anxiety to motivate them into action and reported a more positive emotional disposition, a better social life, more me time, and overall better life outcomes compared with procrastinators. So planning is not only important for your career progress, but also for your well-being and happiness. If you feel like you're a procrastinator, don't worry, you can move towards being a planner. The key reason you procrastinate is to make yourself feel better. You're effectively protecting yourself from a stressful situation, and the stress or frustration you experience can relate to feeling like you're failing, the ideas of others judging you negatively, and your own negative beliefs about yourself or your capabilities. Whilst it seems natural and logical to give yourself comfort in this situation, it will make you feel better in the short term. However, in the longer term, it will impact your career negatively. So what can you do to become a planner? The mistake many people make is to jump straight into defining a 5-year plan. It can be extremely demotivating to start here, as often people find themselves playing with their pen, getting increasingly stressed because of not knowing the direction to take. If you are currently frustrated and want a career plan for the rest of this year, next year, 5 or even 10 years, you need to begin with the right foundations. The first place to begin is with some self-reflection. it's important to take time out and to sit and contemplate how you really feel about your career. Create some space in your diary. It can be as little as 30 minutes to 1 hour, or longer if you feel that you want to dedicate the time. One of my favourite ways to reflect is to take myself off to a cafe, indulge in coffee and cake, and think about things. It is a busy space, but somehow I'm able to transport myself into my own head, and whilst the cafe noise blends comfortingly into the background. If you prefer a quiet space, you could go for a walk and find a quiet bench to sit on. Equally, you could just curl up on the sofa with a cup or a notepad. Find something that works for you, but also that feels nice. This will make it feel less of a chore and more of a pleasure. Once you're in a space that works for you, it's time to consider some key questions. How do you feel about your career today? Why do you think you feel that way? How are these feelings affecting your career? How are these feelings affecting your personal life? In answering these questions, you start to understand what is happening in your career and what is not in alignment. It might be that you feel sad after answering these questions, and that's okay. Whilst it's not great to feel sad, one thing I've learnt about uncomfortable feelings is that they serve a purpose, which is to tell us something isn't right. It's what's known in positive psychology as the call to change. And it's your wake-up call saying it's time to do something about this because you're unhappy. The sad truth is that unless you do something about these feelings, they won't go away. You can try and send them away as much as you want, but that unrest and dissatisfaction will slowly chip away at your confidence, well-being, and you'll become more unhappy. These feelings are an invitation to understand how you feel about your career today. Only then can you do something meaningful about it. And so, following the key questions, decide if you want to accept the call to make changes and improve your career. What one thing do you need to do to progress forward? It could be to get clarity on career direction so that you can work on developing a career plan. It could be applying for a promotion you've been considering, or it could be updating your CV because you want to change job. The first step in any effective career change is to reflect and understand what's going wrong. This enables you to decide, to plan, or to procrastinate. Which will you choose? Remember, your well-being, happiness depend on this choice.